Hey everyone, in this video I want to show you how to create a basic floor plan in Autocad. So we're going to draw some exterior walls, we'll draw a few interior walls, I'll show you how to create some windows and doors, and then add some dimensions on it as the very last thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm in my wall layer. I'm going to start by drawing the exterior walls. So I'm going to use the line command for that. And I can just pick anywhere in my drawing just to start. So I'm just going to click a random spot. I'm going to draw straight up 12 feet. So make sure you type the apostrophe after the 12 so you'll get a 12-foot wall and not a 12-inch wall. So enter. I'm going to hit escape here and just kind of zoom out a little bit to where that line is all the way inside my view here. And then I'm going to start another line. I'm going to draw it on the top end of that line that I just drew. So I'm going to wait for the green kind of box to pop up. So that marks your object snap endpoint. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to drag it over. I'll also make sure that you have your ortho mode on whenever you're drawing these lines. Otherwise, if you try to draw it to where it's straight, you may not get it exactly straight. So that ortho mode helps you draw horizontal and vertical lines perfectly. So I'm going to drag my mouse over to the right. I'm going to type in 18 feet, press enter. I'm going to go straight down, 16 feet, 2 inches. So notice I don't have to type the quote symbol to represent the inches here. I can just type in 2. So it's 16 feet, 2 inches. Press enter. And then I'm going to go over to the left. That's 8 feet. I'm going to go straight up is 4 foot, 2 inches. And then I'm just going to connect the end here. And hit escape key to cancel my line command. So there's the shape for our building, the outside shape. So now what I want to do is, it says our exterior walls are 6 inches thick. So I'm going to use the offset tool here. I'm going to click that. And then where it says specify offset distance or through, I'm going to type in 6. Because I want to offset my walls 6 inches. So press enter, and then I'm just going to select any of these walls. Just make sure your offset is to the inside of your building. So select these, select somewhere inside, all the way around here. And then I'm going to hit escape to get out of my offset command. Now notice some of these lines overlapping each other. This one here has got a big gap in it, so the way that we can fix that is you can either use the trim command or the fillet. It just depends on which one you want to use. So I'll show you both. So I could click on the scissors here. And also, if you don't see the scissors, click the little arrow to the right. There's 2 different. So there's either trim or extend. So I want the trim function. And then you just select the part of the line that you want to trim out. So this one and that one. Let me do this as well. Now, and I'll hit escape to get out of this. So you could also use the fillet command, which will help you kind of close this gap here. So if I click the fillet and then click down here where it says radius, I want that to be 0, which it already is, but I'm just going to type in 0, press enter. So I could, if I click the ends of these 2 lines here, that's going to kind of square that corner off. And then if I press enter again to get back in my fillet command, I could, instead of clicking the ends of these 2 lines, I want to keep this side of the line and this side of the line. So if I just kind of click here and here, you notice it kind of squares those ends off as well. So press enter, just kind of click these 2 lines. Press enter, click these 2 lines again. So So yeah, you could either use the trim command or the fillet to kind of square those corners off. It just depends on what your preference is. So there's our exterior walls. To make our interior walls, there's several different ways that you can do it, but I like to use the offset command for these as well because I already have some lines drawn. So I know that my interior wall is 5 foot 10 inches from the top and 5 foot 10 inches off this right side wall. So I'm gonna go back up to my offset, and then where it says specify offset distance. So right now it's set for 6 inches because that's what we last put our offset as, but I want this to be, now I want it to be 5 foot 10 inches. So enter like that, 5 foot 10, press enter. So I'm going to offset this outside line in by 5 foot 10, and then I'm going to offset this top line down by 5 foot 10. I can hit the escape key here. I can go back to my fillet, right? And I can square these two off here and here. Zoom in here. Now I can offset. Now my interior walls are 4 inches thick, it says. So I'm gonna go back to my offset, and this time I want that offset distance to be 4 inches. So I can just type in 4, press enter. I'm gonna click this line. I want to offset it up, and I want to offset this line to the right. And so that's kind of our little room here with we're gonna have a door here and a couple of windows, but obviously you don't want to have your walls kind of crashing into each other. So I need to kind of trim this out. So I'm gonna use the trim tool. I'm gonna get rid of these two, this one, this one, this one. Right, so there's our interior walls. So now what I want to, now you could either want to draw the doors or the windows. And I'm going to start with the windows. So what I want to do is I'm going to go up to my layers. I'm going to click on where it says wall here. I'm going to change my layer to my window layer here. So now that's the current layer. So the way that I do the windows is I look for the midpoint of the windows, or the center of that window. So I know on this right side here, or I'm sorry, on the left side, where you're going to have a window kind of centered in this wall. That's that window. It says on the bottom is you're going to have a 6 feet wide window. So I need to find the midpoint of this line. So I'm just going to draw a line. Look for your object snap where you have the green triangle. If you don't see that midpoint snap, then go down here to your object snaps here, the little triangle to the right of it, and make sure that you have your midpoint checked. Some of these other ones you don't need, you could click them off, but just make sure you have your midpoint on for this one. So I'm going to draw a line from the middle, kind of over to the left, just a random distance. I don't really care, as long as it kind of crosses over the thickness of that wall. So that's the center of my window. And then if my window is 6 feet wide, I'm going to offset this center line here 3 feet in both directions. And that's going to give me my 6 foot wide window. So I'm going to go to offset. I'm going to type in 3 feet, press enter, and I'm just going to click it and kind of offset it on both sides. So now I don't need this center line anymore. So yeah, what I want to do is now I want to trim out this part of the wall that's going where my window needs to go. So I'm going to use the trim tool. I'm going to click out this one, this one. I'm going to click this one and this one. So what I want to do is I have my wall ends here, but you see that the ends of the wall is on the window layer. So I'm going to just kind of make a window. Left click and let go of the button and drag it down to where it's covering both. Click it again. I'm going to change this from the window to the wall. No, I'm not going to finish that. I'm not going to finish that sentence. All right. So, yeah. So now you see my window or my wall layer is my wall is kind of continuous and it stops there. So now to draw your window, I'm gonna offset these two ends by 2 inches. 2 inches. That's gonna be my window frame. So 2 inches, 2 inches. I know I'm on the wall layer there. I don't want to be. I'm gonna draw a line from the end of this wall all the way down to the end of this wall. Press enter twice. I'm going to draw a line from the end of this one to this one. And then I'm going to draw a line from the middle of this little line here to the middle of this one. That represents my glass. So then I'm just going to, if I click this red line, click this red line, I want that to be on the window layer. So there's my window. So you have a 2-inch window frame on the sides. And then you have their lines here represent the window sill down below it. And then this middle line represents your glass part. So that's kind of how I go about drawing a window. If you have a lot of these same windows, you could make a block, which we haven't talked about yet. And that way you don't got to redraw this one every time. But since there's only a few windows in this building, I'm just going to keep on creating windows like this. So again, I'm going to do the same thing that I did for this window down here on this wall. So just kind of really quickly, I'm going to draw a line from the middle. I want it to be from the middle of this wall back. I'm going to offset it 3 feet on each side. 1, 2. I'm going to trim it out. Now notice, instead of going up to my toolbar here at the ribbon, I could just type in TR for trim and then trim out the parts of this that I don't need. I don't need that midpoint line, so I can get rid of that. I want to put these on the wall layer. And then I'm going to draw a line. I know I did this one different than I did the other one. Then I can offset 2 inches from my frame. 1, 2. Again, I want to put these window frame lines on my window layer. And I'm going to draw a line from the middle of this window frame to this one. So there's that window. And then I have 2 little smaller windows up here in this kind of area here. So again, I'm going to draw a line from the middle of this wall out. Let me just do this one too. The middle of this one out. Now this window, the width of this window is, let's see. Oh, it says 2 foot wide. So if my window is 2 feet wide, I'm going to offset my center point by 1 foot on each side. I'm going to do them both at the same time. Up. I don't need that. I don't need that. I just use the erase tool for that. And then trim. I'm going to trim out this. I'm going to make sure these are on the wall there. Now I'm going to offset these 2 inches. I'm just doing the same thing I did for the big windows. That's why I'm going kind of fast here. I'll show you some different ways I can do this. I'll just do that, draw a line from the middle, here, middle, and I'm going to select these little red lines because these are on the wrong layer. These are going to go on the window layer. All right, so there's my windows. Now the doors are a little bit trickier. Basically, you're going to cut out the opening for the doors the same way you did for the windows. The really tricky part is the door swing. So let me create the door here. So generally, the closest you can get a door to a wall here, so this is a wall, is 4 inches. So I'm going to offset this line 4 inches from here over, and then I'm just going to grab this grip. If I click on the line, you'll see that it gives you a blue grip on the end. I can just click that grip and just drag it straight down, just so it kind of crosses over my wall there. So this door is 2'6" wide. So I'm going to offset this line 2'6" inches. Press enter. I'm going to click this line and click it to the right. And then I'm going to use the trim to, basically I'm just kind of trimming out my door opening here, right there. Let me do the same thing down here for this bottom one. Now this bottom entry door this is a 3 feet wide door, 3 foot wide. And again, I'm gonna offset this line 4 inches here. I'm gonna drag this over. Make sure you drag it straight over and not at an angle. And then I'm gonna offset this one 3 feet, and then just trim out your wall opening. All right, so there's our door openings. So let's start with this one here. So this door is 3 feet wide. So normally what I do is I draw a rectangle. I mean, you could draw lines for your door and your door thickness, but I'm going to click up here. I'm going to go with the rectangle, and I'm going to grab this corner here. So my door goes kind of out and up a little bit. So if you notice that you see the dimension there and it's highlighted blue. So for that dimension, this door is 3 feet. So the trick is I'm going to enter 3 feet. I'm not going to press enter here. Actually, I'm going to type in 3 feet. I'm going to press the tab key, and then that's going to bounce me over to my thickness here. So my thickness on my door, I just use 2 inches. So 2, and then press enter. So that's kind of our door opening. And let me do the same thing up here. So again, I'm going to go to the rectangle. I'm going to click, so our door hinges on this side, on this door. So I'm going to click this corner. I'm going to drag it up and over to the right. So now this time, the highlighted part is the thickness. So that's 2 inches. So that's 2. I'm going to hit the tab key. And then this door is 2'6" inches wide. So 2'6". Now I press enter. So there's our doors. Now for the door swing, I drew these doors on the window there. It happens sometimes. So I'm gonna click on this door. I'm gonna click on this door. I'm gonna go up here where it says window. I'm gonna change these to door, which they're both green. I don't know if I like that, but anyway. Yeah, we can do that. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to change my layer I want to be on the door swing layer. So I just kind of went in my list and looked at the door swing. All right, so this is really the tricky part. So generally whenever you draw an arc, AutoCAD draws an arc counterclockwise. So what I want to do is I want to have a door swing from this corner, and it shows my door swings open this direction to the left, right? Or to the left, right? That didn't make sense. My arc swings to the left from this point. So if I go to my arc, usually I want to do the start center end option. So the start point of my arc is going to be this corner. The center point is going to be where this corner is here, or this end point, this corner, whatever it is. I try to make it on where the actual corner of the wall. And then if I drag it up, let me get up. Wait, what up? Yeah, there it is. So the end point of this door, it could be either here or here, depending on which one you want to choose. I'll try to pick the end here. It doesn't quite catch it because it's really going to this other side here. But that's kind of how you do your doors. And this one here is going to be, I think with the new AutoCAD version, you can actually flip that direction. So let me try that out. So if I go to arc, start, center, end. So let's say I want to start it on this side. And then I'm going to bring it down to this corner. Now notice it's kind of going in the wrong direction. I want it to swing to the right. So down here it says hold control to switch direction. So if I hold the control key down, now it's drawing it to the right. And I can just click the corner here. So if you try to draw an arc and it's going in the opposite direction than what you want, just hold the control key down and it'll flip it back the other way. So there's our openings for our doors, our door swings, nice and neat. So yeah, we'll keep going. This 20-minute video. So now let me add the dimensions. So I'm going to click on my layers. I'm going to click on the dimensions layer here. And then for dimensions, I already have all the settings set up, which saves a lot of time. That's why I wanted you to use this template. So for my dimensions, I'm going to go up to where you see linear. I'm going to click on linear. And then generally whenever you create a dimension, I want to go from the outside corner of one side to the outside corner of the other. And just kind of drag it up, kind of out of the way a little bit. So that's your overall dimension. And then I'm going to dimension to my interior wall. So from the corner of this to the outside corner of this one, kind of drag it up. You don't want it to get it over into this dimension here. For me, it's kind of an eyeball thing, really. I know generally they give you a dimension or a dimension that should be, but generally whenever you're doing it, it's just kind of an eyeball thing. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to go from this corner to the end, and I'm going to line these up. So to line them up, I just drag my mouse over to where I hit that edge of this dimension here, and just click it, and it lines those up. And then the third one I want to dimension to the center of the window. So I'm going to click the corner to the center of this window, drag it up from the center here to this corner. And these are going to be in line too. So click those, hit escape. So that's kind of how you dimension one side of your wall. So I'll do the same thing for the others really quickly. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this one down to here. Drag it over. From this one to here. Drag it over. Probably should have moved that further, but that's okay. This corner to this corner. Put it there. Okay, now, so I don't need to dimension where that door is because it's kind of in the standard position, I guess. It's 4 inches off that wall, so they know where that door is going to be. But I do need to dimension to where this window is. So the center of this window is here. And then from here to the end is there. I can move this one here a little closer. So if I click this dimension and grab the little grip blue box and just kind of drag it over a little bit. My dog is in there snorting. So there's that one. She's got issues. Yeah, so there's that. And then I'm going to click the corner of this wall, corner of this. I'm going to drag it down. And then again, I'm going to dimension here. Dimension here. To that. Clip it on where those line up. And then dimension to the center of this window. From here to here. From here to here. Line those up. Yeah, just make sure these are lined up. That makes it easier for the person that's building this to read, where they don't have to like jump their eye all over the place and go all kind of crazy. So the last row from this corner, just make sure when you grab the corner of the wall, you don't want to grab the corner of any of these dimensions here. You can zoom in if you need to get the corners. Drag it out a safe distance. You don't want to have your dimensions right on the actual building itself, because it gets kind of confusing. So just, and then you don't want to pull them out too far either, because that's hard to read. But I'm going to go from this corner here to the end of this line. Drag it out a little bit. And then from here to here. Corner here. And then just one more dimension is all I need to the, or one more row is to the center of this window. Put it about there. From the middle to here. There we go. I'm gonna cheat and use the stretch command. I haven't shown you all that yet. I'm just gonna stretch these out a little bit. All right, so there is our completed floor plan. We have the walls on the wall layer, the windows on the window layer, doors on the door layer. The door swings are on a layer, just because they're usually drawn lighter than the other objects. So that's why they're on a separate layer, because they're really usually a light line. And then your dimensions are on their own layer. So we could add it to our title block sheet. Probably I'm not sure if an A size sheet will work. Maybe a B size. Double click in here. I'm going to turn off this grid. So I'll show you how in another video how to get this thing set up on this title block, because I'm kind of running long with this video as it is. So we'll continue on in another video. But here is our completed floor plan. So just make sure you save it. I'm going to save it as floor plan. I don't know what to call it. Floor plan basic. Yeah, that sounds good. Hit save. All right, there you go.